Hi, this is Benton's dad, aka Alan, and this is my latest video update. Since I last spoke to you, I did receive a successful TTM return, and I will share that with you momentarily. But first, a little housekeeping to take care of. In my last video, I proposed a small giveaway. Uh, the item was a card signed by Olympian swimmer Donna Di Verona. The request was to identify the first names of the two Twitchels who have appeared in a Major League Baseball game. Um, the winner, the first person to get back to me with that information, was Math Bowler. He correctly identified those two Twitchels as Larry, who was a pitcher outfielder from 1886 to 1894, and Wayne, who was a pitcher from 1970 to 1979. So, congratulations, Stephen. I've seen the video where you uh, showed your prize package. So, thank you very much for the shout out. You boosted my subscriber count by 5. So, thank you again. All right. Little note, historical note. I just recently sent out my 650th TTM request. Um, I have received 487 successful returns, which is just a tick under 75%. I've been doing this for about 10 years actively. Obviously, I don't send out a huge amount of requests, but I still have a few that I'm hoping to get back in the next week or so. All right, from Facebook, picked up this card signed by Basketball Hall of Famer and a two-time Olympic champion, Lindsay Whalen. From eBay, I added this card, 1959 Topps, signed by Gene Baker. A little worse for wear, but that's okay for my collection purposes. Mr. Baker is significant in the history of the game because he is the first black manager in professional baseball history. He was also the first black coach in professional baseball history. And technically, he was the first African American manager in Major League Baseball history. He took over for Danny Murtaugh of the Pirates he was a coach for on Murtaugh's squad. Um, Took over in the late innings of a game in 1963 after Murtaugh was no longer around. So he became the first black manager in Major League history, predating Frank Robinson by about 12 years. And finally, the TTM. And this is kind of a special return for me. I want to first thank Caleb's Cards for the address. About 40 years ago, I was a writer for a small newspaper in southeast Kansas, and they had a big fair and rodeo every summer. And one of my assignments this year, about 40 years ago, was to cover a musical event at the fair and rodeo. That concert was given by Miss Becky Hobbs, songwriter, country music performer. And the next day at the office, I received a phone call from Miss Hobbs inviting me out to breakfast. So, of course, I went. Her family owned a little donut shop in the town I was working in, and we had donuts and coffee. We talked about music, and I had this card for a long time, and finally, I said, "You know what? I want to see if I can send this out to her and get it signed because it was a nice memory in my history as a newspaper person. Not only did she sign the card, she included a nice little note, which she also signed. So now I have a personal memento of that occasion. Well, that's my update. I want to thank everybody for watching and wish you all peace, love, and understanding.